Hey, 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 welcome back to the Odyssey Cup Champions Cup Season 2. We are now live with the top 8 quarterfinals, and it's between Team Ryuga Esports on the red side and Team Endless Gate on the blue side. We are getting into the ban section, and it's almost over, so let's just run through it. We've got Zushin and Gata Kacha getting banned from the side of Team Ryuga, and we've got CC, Uranus, and Nissan Shin from the side of Team Endless Gate. I don't see any, surprising bans from both of these teams. They seem pretty valid. CC, Uranus, very tough EXP laners. But talking about EXP laner, we've got Esmeralda getting banned too. Lapu Lapu open. Keep that in mind, guys, because Lapu Lapu, Lancelot, all these heroes that are actually pretty prominent, and also Kadita maybe, and maybe the Grok. These heroes are open, and I think the possibility of them getting picked pretty quick is pretty obvious. Again, we've got Angela, a hero that's been steadily rising up in the popularity sector with that beautiful buff that she's gotten on the ultimate, allowing her to use the ultimate every 20 seconds in the early game. And if you have 45% cooldown reduction, you will be able to actually pull the ultimate up every 11.5 seconds. But like that, I've mentioned the Lancelot getting picked pretty quick. And he's obviously getting picked. There's no doubt about that. The hero is supposed to actually be either banned or picked, and that's kind of valid. Everyone doesn't want to actually deal with that. A healer composition to actually counter the roam position? No, it's not going to be a roam. We've got a mid lane Angela and possibly an Estes in the. No, it's not going to be an Estes. It's going to be a Lolita or something along those lines to actually counter the Lancelot. If you actually pick the Belleric, you might actually stand a chance. But we've got the Grok, a hero that I actually personally condone as one of the best roamers at this point of the game. The other being, Khalid, who has a lot of potential into roaming at the enemy side of the jungle and also stealing maybe the enemy's buff. And well, the Kadita is a hero that I actually would be looking forward to, but I think that's not going to be a possibility. We've got an option on the Kimmy, but again, Kadita is way more important of a pick than Kimmy. And not gonna lie, with the Bane getting the magic buff, I believe that he's also a valid pick, but not in the mid lane, of course. Possibly in the gold lane as a magic Bane, but again, not in the mid lane. Well, I don't think they're gonna actually pick the one. Okay, they're gonna pick the one. They're gonna swap in the week one to actually pick the one, and we've got the second phase of the banning going on now. And I think with what do you call it, Endless Gate not having their jungler, I think the priority from the side of Team Ryuga Esports would be to actually keep either the gold lane or the jungle positions, in jeopardy. I think that's gonna be the priority from the side of Team Ryuga Esports. But again, we can't really tell what they're actually thinking. I think the possibility of Endless Gate going for something like of a tanky origin, maybe the Fredrin and the Boxia would actually be the most obvious call because obviously the Angela is on their side. They've got Worcester on the Yuzong and also Grok all being there on their side. I think the tanky lineup is actually a possibility. But again, the fact that Valentina got banned, I think they don't want Grok's tectonic charge being copied anytime soon. Back to the last ban from the side of Team Ryuga Esports, they obviously want to keep off of their hands because with the Angela, the boxer is going to have a lot of freeway in the early game, especially with the ultimate being only 20 seconds. That's going to allow Boxy to engage and disengage as much as he wants, allowing them to snowball early on, unless, of course, they actually mess it up. And then, they might actually end up losing the early and the late game too. But then Boxia is still always a valid choice with the abilities that he has on his passive. What do you call it? Boxia Shield, Unity, the ability of him to actually get free life bane effect 40% in level 1 itself is absolutely ballistic. But talking about that, the last ban from the side of Team Endless Gate, I think the possibilities of either a mage or a roamer getting banned is the highest. But again, nobody actually really sees the lead anymore. It's kind of surprisingly sad. They've gone to Eve banned from the side, for obvious reasons. They don't want Ryuga, their side, actually getting the advantage in terms of getting a kill box set up. But I don't think with that kind of composition, Yves is going to be a pick from their side. I think it's a good possibility, but it's not the best choice for their side. Again, a Lapu Lapu is, a top tier EXP laner, unlike Yuzong, of course, who has a good power spike in the early game. Lapu Lapu can stand strong throughout the game, especially with Bravest Fighter. He's able to dish out so much damage and also tank a lot of damage with the enhanced second skill. He will be able to actually get damage reduction, allowing him to chunk up anybody and also beef out all of the enemies' damage that they actually dish out. But again, Yu Zong does not have that liberty. He will fall short of damage in the later stages of the game. But now we've got them actually possibly hovering up on the Fredrin. It's a good possibility, but the gold laner is what I'm most surprised about. Well, I will not actually. Oh, wait, we won't see a Fredrin. We might just see a Joy. Why is there a Phobius? What?
Your team is picking.
I am confused. I am actually trying to understand what is happening, but we do not know what is actually happening in the minds of these players. I think Virus and Voisker actually have a little bit of I think a dialogue going on the backside of the setup. I think they're actually deciding on maybe the Yuzong and the Gold Lay and a possible Phobius in the XP. I don't. I'll just skip that part. I'm absolutely not going to express any judgments on their end. I think that 40% of the game is decided on the draft. But if they actually might make this work, the 60% is always a question mark. But to end things off, we've got a standard Lunux pick in the mid side. I think that's not something that most people actually do nowadays, but surprisingly, getting common now. I think it's kind of valid too. Lunux is always a good hero, and her ability to actually take down any tanky unit is always welcome on any team. I think Ryuga are thinking it through pretty well. Wan on the gold lane and Lunux in the mid lane, pretty reasonable. But again, we got the game going on, and I think Team Endless Gate are actually. I'm trying not to have seizures with how the Phobius and Yuzong are there on their side. We will ignore that. But again, back to the Odyssey Cup, the amazing effort that everyone is doing. I want to thank everyone for the effort they're putting in, and we'll also thank everyone from the side of Team Ryuga Esports for their absolute best. And since their team is playing, I think that most of the people who will be supporting Ryuga Esports are there in the chat. And I don't want Endless Gates actually not get any support. So let's all support the team that does their best. Let's wait in for the macros and the micros to talk and to speak basically. Well, again, as we wait for our game to actually begin, we are trying to comprehend what Yuzong and Phobius are doing on the same team together. But let's just wait out and see what they're actually planning on.
Welcome to MOBA. Till the enemy reaches the battle.
All right, guys, we are now live for the Odyssey Cup in the Land of Dawn. It's season 2, and it is the top 8 quarterfinals that's going on between Endless Gate on the side of Team Blue and Ryuga Esports on the side of Team Red. Hayabusa going swiftly to his blue buff while Lancelot does the scope. And look at that right now as he's strong in the blue. I'm having seizures. That's legit what I actually feel right now. I think that Wan's gonna have a field day escaping all of Yuzong's attacks. But again, I would rather see a CC in the goal lane rather than Yuzong. I have no idea what they're thinking. But look at that beautiful skill from the side of Team Endless Gate. They've gotten the Little Wanderer with that well-timed retribution. Even though Kalea was there to pick up Hayabusa and knock him into the air, he is able to still secure it with that beautifully timed retribution and the Little Wanderer. The first objective, the neutral objective, will be secured by the side of Team Endless Gate. While in the bot lane, we know that Yuzong can't really force his way into, Wan's face because obviously that hero has a lot of range, and we know how, range is basically an advantage in the gold lane. However, at the top side, we've got a little bit of a problem. We've got a little bit of an a lane cut going on. Visala is actually able to put some pressure in with the help of, obviously his best buddy, Alea, who's actually look at that. Hayabusa is also trying to help his teammate. We've got him on the back line. So, weakness finder is going to find his weakness onto the enemy. But look at that. We've got the shot residue flying off of Wan. He is going to getting a first blood on the weak one because he was found weak. I was trying to make a Gojo reference, but it didn't actually cut through. Again, we've now got a little bit of a turtle fight going through, but a Hayabusa is not going to reach there in time. But again, that Ogi Shadow kill is not going to find his way to get a kill on the mid lane. But look at that. We've got right now a little bit of a skirmish that's going on. Zafu is going to go brave into the enemy's back line and try to find a kill, especially on Angela, who was very easy, by the way. But look at this, he's low on HP. Oh, look at that beautiful flicker play. We've got a lot of damage going on to that Voisker there. But then again, the Flicker is going to keep him alive for a few more seconds. But we've got, Kalea doing his work for his team. He's actually healing up the allies all again. But then again, it's not the best course of action if you actually jump in. But that Tsunami Slam is absolutely on point. He's going to get the kill on Royster. By him, I mean Chocolate Chan. Silver Hawk is going to find a kill on Royster without any stress. 1-1's able to actually push half the tower, shield in the bot side, and then the top lane, we've got Visal heavily defending the top lane while Phobius is making his way back. Alright, back to the game where nothing much happening, but I think right now, with whatever Kalea is planning on, first thing is just gonna leave two people to actually end up dying, but look at Gamma getting the kill on Royster. One required, sacrifice from the side of Team Endless Gate, but then again, they got two. They got Kalea and also the weak one, who were kind of like little off position. I don't think that he's best way to actually stand there and try to put the pressure on Royster. Then you know that it is. Look at that though, the bumper going through the enemies, but look, we've got 3 waves getting a kill. Oh no, it's going to be Gamma that's getting the kill onto, Brock, of course. Putting the hard guard onto our Song, allows him to stay alive for a few more seconds. That's not going perfectly. I think he's going to actually force his team to stay alive. Again, longer cooldown than hard guards. I don't think it's actually needed. We got team Yuga Esports, who of course was taken by Visal. I don't think the EXP lane was supposed to be taking the turtle. However, it's all fun and games until one person actually. Oh, okay, we've got a wall situation, but nothing too serious. 1-1 can always jump over walls. There's no stress whatsoever. Hayabusa has gotten himself the Hunter Strike. He's able to actually do more damage, especially in the previous fights that he's been in. He was losing on some damage, especially, when he was in the crucial moments to get kills. I think he was losing up on that just because he didn't have a bit more damage. He was able to find one. He was not able to get more than what expected. Again, both of the teams are trying to play it safe. They've not lost any crucial objectives, of course, that being, the towers. However, Team Ryuga Esports, of course, have gotten themselves 2 of the turtles that spawned in. The third turtle is going to be spawning in 1 minute, and Voisker now finally has himself a War Axe. And we've got, Dominance Ice onto Phobius, but again, we've got a Tsunami Slam and a killing spree going out of the hands of Gamma. Virus is going to go down for that one. And I think Visal and also, Visal's going to be cool. We've got a Quad Shadow. We've got an Oki Shadow kill, and we've got a death onto the side of Team Ryuga Esports. The weak one is going to go back to the base, but look at that, the hard guard is going to go onto, our Yusong Voisker, and he will be able to find someone, but then again, the Tectonic Charge is going to seal the deal. That's where it's at, and we've got Voisker shutting down Gamma, and he's going to go for more, I believe. He's going to not be scared. But to look at the shot residue flying away, but it's not going to be Voisker that gets it. It's going to be the Grok that gets the kill on the bot lane, the final one for the side. And we've got right now the Ogi Shadow kill that was almost not there, I think. The hard guard keeping him alive. Hayabusa is going to stay alive for a bit more longer, but Chocolate-chan was able to escape. But not Nino. Nino's going to go back to the base. We've got right now a little bit of a skirmish, a little bit of a problem. We've got Voisker in, the enemy's space at this point. And I think the hard guard was not used. Why wasn't that used? I have a lot of questions. I thought that the hard guard was going to be used on Voisker, but it wasn't. Chocolate Chan has found the opportunity to go and take the turtle without any worries whatsoever from the side of Team Endless Gate. Look at that, we've got Grok in a tough space. He's gotten caught in between a rock and a hard place. But look at that. The Ogi Shadow Kill has been forced out of the enemies, but the Tectonic Charge 2 has been used up and allowing his team to actually get a few more seconds to escape from the clutches of the enemies. Gamma, Chocolate Chan, and also, Kalea. I think that was a good set, but again, can't really follow up on that when the enemies are so far ahead. 21,000. That's 3,000. No, 2,700 for the side team where you get esports. Not taking any stress whatsoever. Hours. Look at that. The Chaos Assault has begun, and I think Lunox has decided to actually not go through with it. He was going to allow the enemies to actually escape from there. I think there not being any tanky front line was present in that, given scenario on the top. In the mid, I think that was the only reason why the Chaos Assault wasn't followed through. But look at that, we've got a big Black Dragon, the big bad blimp in the air, but we've got Light Ultimate, the Brilliant going through. But the OB Shadow Kill is setting in. I don't think it will be. But look at the top side, we've got the Crossbow Tank doing a ton of damage on the Yuzong. Voister will be, I think he's going to stay alive, but Kalea is going to fall down. He's going to find his way back to the base, and Chocolate Chan is going to, oh, look at that, the Yogi Shadow Kill is going to find the weak one, and the weak one is going to go back to the base too. I don't think it's going to actually be required there, but again, it's okay as long as everyone else stays alive. Hard guard again. Oh, we've got the Thorn Rose coming in pretty hot, but we've got Puncture. Again, Angela's hard guard is keeping that Yuzong alive for quite too long. And I think there's going to be a big problem with, where Chocolate Chan is positioned. I think, he's able to puncture his way through all of the inflated balloons that the enemies are. That was absolutely beautiful. Again, the first Thor of the match is spawned in, and I think Endless Gateway, I think they're positioned well to actually secure the Lord. But again, the Playuga Esports, they've been proven to us they're doing pretty good. Oh, look at that. We've got right now Brock split up his wall, and I think while Fearless, she might actually speed up in any second now. Hard guard has been used up, and I don't think it's actually a good idea to engage, especially against them. And again, we've got Kalea positioning herself into a very dangerous spot, but that allows Team Ryuga Esports to actually have the upper hand in whatever turtle fight that's going to spawn in any second now. But again, we've got the Conceal coming in from the side of Team Ryuga Esports. Look at that, we've got Rock actually engaging in the back line, but look, the weak one is very weak right now, very low on HP, and Voister is going to find his way to get the kill on that one, and Nino's going to get the kill on Kalea. As Nino goes in, he gets the shutdown resolve, and there's going to be more. Gamma's going to go down too, and we've got the last person alive, Dr. Chan, who is absolutely dumbfounded with that one, team fight turning to their side. Team Endless Gate have put up a gate that's actually kind of like unstoppable, actually, and they've gone for the Lord. Nino secures the Lord, and Chocolate Chan trying to defend the mid lane. Puncture going through, but Oyster is not going to actually find his way to actually get the kill onto the Lancelot. Chocolate Chan is going to dash through, especially with the fact that, Yuzong, Oyster, has, vengeance and not petrify, so he's not going to set up for a kill on anyone as, slippery as Lancelot. As we see the match rolling through, we see everyone in the mid lane, and I don't think nobody actually marching in on the bot side of the match. From the side of Team Ryuga Esports, having the early phase of the game. But look at that, Rock looking in for an engage. She's looking for a little bit of an opening, waiting on the enemy to actually make a little bit of an overstep, but it's not happening anytime soon, I believe. But again, the tower that was in the bot lane was pushed, and without any exception, we've got the mid lane being forced down, but no minions being there is going to be the biggest problem for them. Let's look at the items, though. I think that, with Visal and both Oyster and Visal having themselves that, Fury Hammer, no, not Fury Hammer, I mean, here's kind of like obvious. That's going for that damage build that most people actually build on him. He's the one he wants to kill himself, and that will actually be the reason why he was alive in that last team fight there on the top side. But that's going to be a big problem because they will leave the top tier 2, and the Tsunami Slam is going to be there, but it's not going to actually secure any kill. But look at that. We've got Oyster getting a kill on Kalea as a return gift for that beautiful Tsunami Slam that he actually presented to him. But look at the week 1 getting killed by Nino again. And I think with Nino and the way he's devastating side of Team Ryuga Esports. Gamma, though, he's able to get the shutdown on Nino, who was absolutely dominating on the gold lane, but he's not going to dominate the, Gamma in the mid side, of course. But look at that. We've got Chocolate Chan trying to do some damage. There's no anti-heal. Oh, there is anti-heal. The glowing wand onto Gamma is going to be the biggest problem for Yuzong and also, what do you call it? Metric. So I think, Chocolate Chan was able to a little bit of HP. I look at a Phantom HP. Actually escaped from completely find his way. Very look at that. Isolating both Grok while Phobius is gonna get marked by 2 people. They actually do there. But look at Phobius, he's not gonna give out, he's not gonna give up, but that's not gonna be fair. We've got Wan's crossbow thing, we've got there all jumping in. I think that was very, very smart gameplay from the side of Team Ryuga Esports, but what's all doing? What are you thinking, dude? That's okay. I think they're actually all good. Now the Lord's spawning in, but Phobius is not there, so they're not locking in on the EXP later who's actually gonna, play the back line. But look at Gamma, dude. As soon as he dealt the board, was able to melt down pretty quick. Chocolate Chan's retribution, absolutely brutal. And he's actually squared, but look at that. Zombie slam from the vengeance. And the hard card too. That's not good. I don't think that's a good idea. But Voisker is not actually just, he's not worried about anything. He's just gonna go to the back line. Patrick is the one who's gonna get the kill on the weak one. And we've got Voisker getting the kill onto, Kalea. But look at that. This all is gonna get the kill on Nino. And also Voisker is gonna go down after no, he's not gonna go down. It's going to be, Grok and also Patrick that's gonna go. In a side note, Nino got taken out too. I was kind of surprised. I'm actually expecting Nino to actually get the. For that, they got the power jumping in. He's gonna be able to do much, but we don't really have any idea of what they're gonna do. These people are going to take it down closer. Oh, Virus is the only one alive, and I don't think they have the end effect. Someone like the Virus who is absolutely tanky. But with Chocolate Chan is going to take that opportunity to push the bot lane tier 3, and the Lords marching in on the top side. Tier 3 problems, if at all, they actually don't have the damage to defend that. But they're trying to do their best to defend the top lane tier 3, and the mid lane tier 3 is going to get pushed pressure too. The Ogre Shadow Kill forced to be used. Nino was able to actually defend it. But look at that. We've got a Tsunami Slam, but the Vengeance is there to keep him alive for a bit longer. And we've got the Hard Guard also. The Tectonic Slam, Tectonic Charge, actually catching 4 people. Nostril Control. But then again, it's going to be enough. Everyone alone on the side of Team Ryuga Esports. We're not going to stay alive for too long. They're going to actually escape. Virus, of course, was trying to actually, stay alive. He was actually picked up by the Tsunami Slam, of course. Was able to keep himself alive, especially with the Heart Guard on. We've got right now Quad Shadow into maybe a kill, especially with Wolfster and Nemo being there, with also, Petrick. They were able to secure the kill onto Kalea, who was actually there because they wanted to let his team to have a window of opportunity to escape whatever team, or what do you call it? Endless Gate. Why do I keep calling it Endless Battle in my head? Endless Gate to actually not chase them and allow his teammates to escape. I think that was a very good idea. But again, they were able to escape either way without, Kalea actually sacrificing himself. I don't think that was the best course of action, but either way, we can't really tell what would have happened if at all they won there. But look at that Quad Shadow into the Shuriken is not going to actually do much for them, but of course it was very slippery. Both teams trying their best not to actually engage and make any unnecessary, complications for their victory. They have not decided on losing up on any bit of advantage that they've gotten. But again, the weak one is finally able to actually get himself halberd. But I think Brock's positioning is going to be very, very sneaky. He's not going to actually, reveal himself just yet. But nobody from the side of Team Ryuga Esports knows that he's there. He's actually going to reveal himself. But look at that. We've got a tsunami spam onto that. We've got Yuzong running for his life. But Worcester is going to get taken out first. But look at the tectonic charge, only catching one. But we've got the Hayabusa Squad Shadow and, Ogi Shadow kill. Getting the kill on Kalea, too. And that's going to be 2 for 1, actually. I don't think that was a very good decision from the side Team Ryuga Esports, but they might actually just come back with this one. I think they're not actually going to decide on any more, fights. Nobody's actually engaging, but look at that. Lapu, he up his ultimate. I don't think there's going to be a big problem whatsoever. Phobius is engaged on the backline. Dr. Chan has also jumped in. We've got a Phantom Execution, but look at that. He's killing the weak one who's not he was not, calculating how much he could actually survive against that. And look at the call. Now trying to find his way to get the kill onto Nino, but he's able to quickly evade all of that with the Quad Shadow. And look at that. Vital trying to keep himself alive with a little bit of HP, but he's going to be taken out by the unstoppable Hayabusa. Brock in a tough position, but it's going to be destroyed, melted down by Gamma, who is known to actually melt down tanks. And nobody from the side of Team Endless Battle has enough HP except for Yuzong. And maybe Angela, who will follow through with that. Yuzong's engaged. We've got the Hard Guard coming up. We've got the Brilliant Ultimate from the Remix, and we've got a little bit of a situation. We've got the Kalea jumping in with the Tsunami Slam, but that will only lead to him being taken out, dude. Voisker is not going to be merciful at all. But look at that. The Lord has evolved. It's 18-minute Lord, and I think Endless Gates have the upper hand in this one. I don't think the decided team, what do you call it? Team, right? You've got esports have any opening here, but look at that. We've got an engage. We've got a Quad Shadow. We've got a Phobius jumping in, NBA style, trying to do some damage onto the back line, but Gamma gets the kill on Phobius, and Angela is going to be taken out pretty quickly too. And I think that's going to be his U-turn. I think it's going to be turned around, but the shutdown on Nino is going to allow Chocolate Chan to get the kill on the turtle, and that's going to give them a free turtle, but Chocolate Chan is going to go down. But look at week 1. He's going to be taken out with Chocolate Chan, of course. I don't think it's a good idea for Rizal to actually engage in that team fight anymore. But he does have the advantage, but he does not have the anti-heal going on for him. Yuzong is going to always have the advantage in terms of actually healing up more. Look at that, though. We've got a little bit of hope coming in. Rizal is going to be taken out before Kalea has a chance to actually engage. No way. But again, keeping the Yuzong alive is going to be a big problem. That means there's going to be a lot of wave clear. And we've got the Tsunami Slam for some reason. I think he's actually over-committing to that one. I don't think that's a good idea. He's going to be taken out pretty quickly. No doubt about that one. Oh, is he going to be taken out? Is he going to be taken out? I think he's not going to be, but he will be taken out. We've got the Immortality being popped, and we've got Yuzong setting up. Voisker is going to find his way to get the kill onto, our Kalea here. They're putting on the base, so no push from the side of Team Endless Gate. What are these not now? Nothing much happening here at all. I don't think I see any potential fights. Huh. We've got Fetrick with the Immortality. I think it's actually kind of a good idea. It's not actually going to, burden him in any way, but look at Visal. He's going to find himself a little bit of a Voister situation. He's going to try jumping in, but Voister is now low on HP. The Hard Guard is not going to be on nothing. He's going to have a Hard Guard, but Gamma is going to be followed by that Voister there. But look at the crossbow of Tang finding its way to kill the Voister without any problems. But Nino is still alive in the bot lane. Chocolate Chan trying to actually do some rat pushing there, but he's not going to be able to with the Shadow Kicking there. But look at that. We've got right now a little bit of a problem in the top side of the map. Phobius has engaged in a fight, and we've got Kalea jumping in, trying to actually do some damage. But again, Phobius against the Wanwan is going to get Phobius free passing, allowing himself to get free shield. And we got a Tectonic Charge jumping in, but again, Phobius is too low on HP. He's not going to be able to survive this. Virus is out of the picture, and we've got a little bit of a problem. In the bot lane, we've got Chocolate Chan getting taken out by Nino, who is absolutely merciless there, but Crossbow of Tank is able to find a way to actually make Grok take a knee, and, well, he's going to go down. 2 people alive from the side, a Team Endless Gate, 4 people alive from the side. It's from Ryuga Esports. Will they be able to find a way to actually get the Lord under Hayabusa's nose, or is it going to be a Hayabusa's clutch steal moment? Again, we can't really tell until they actually do the part of the that though. We've got the Chaos Assault doing a lot of damage, but then again, Big Black Dragon to the Lord, making sure that at least Nino is going to have a chance to actually engage. Hard Guard is engaged onto the Yuzong. Again, we've got the Ogi Shadow Kill going to the back line. We've got the Crossbow Tank. And then we play the Worcester. And with that, Worcester is going to go down. We've got right now the first kill, the Flying Swallows. And that's going to be the end of the now Gamma actually, get the kill on Nino. And we've got Spectre getting taken out too. That was a good Lord bait. They actually used the Lord to actually bait out the enemies from their hiding place. That plays the bench lines up. They've got Sophie strategy. Like drop. They can't really do much. They've got the Vengeance project. But then again, we've got the Tectonic Charge, but then that's not going to be enough. Fire's going to be taken out pretty mercilessly. And Grok is going to be too low on HP to defend anything. That's going to be a serious wipeout from the side of Team Ryuga Esports and a direct Nexus destruction moment. They win the first of the best of three.
Victory!
It was a tough match. I'll be very honest with you. With how the momentum was shifting between both of the teams, I actually did believe that Endless Gate had an opportunity, especially during the 15-minute mark where they were absolutely dominating, and they actually did find a way to actually overestimate, overstep. I mean, Team Ryuga Esports actually had the but they lost it the moment that macro was actually being used up pretty well from the side of Team Ryuga Esports. They absolutely handed it to them, and the Nexus was destroyed in a matter of seconds. Hey, 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 welcome back to the
Your
Odyssey
team
Cup
is
Season
banning.
2. And right now we're going in onto the top 8 quarterfinals match between Ryuga Esports and Endless Gate. They are absolutely shredding in the first game. Of course, both of the teams were absolutely showing their best. And we've got right now Ryuga on a score of 1 and Endless Gate on a score of 0. Even though Endless Gate had the advantage during the mid game, they were
Your
swift
team
to
is
actually lose
banning.
it during the end game of the 22-minute mark game. They were not able to actually keep up the momentum, and they did end up losing it. Again, back to the game. Ryuga now have the first pick, and they've gone for
Your
the
team
Baxia
is
ban and the
banning.
Gata Kacha ban. As for Endless Gate, of course, they've gone for two junglers being Yi Sun Shin and Lancelot, especially in the hands of Chocolate Chan. You can't really, have that risk of giving Chocolate Chan the Lancelot. Of course, he was absolutely dominating throughout, and he was the kind of person that we can see in the previous game. Of course, was going to actually use the what is that? The sustain build, I believe, on the Lancelot. I think that's actually the best course of action. With most Lancelots, of course, you can't really
Your
always
team
go
is
for the
banning.
damage build. It's always gonna, fall off at one point or the other in the middle portion of the game. But the sustain build Lancelot is gonna keep you alive and also give you a lot of chunkiness. So it's gonna
Your
allow
team
you to
is
stay alive for
picking.
a lot longer. But Team Ryuga Esports have decided on going for the Yve ban, which is kind of confusing. I don't think Yve is a priority ban, unlike Kadita, of course. But it is what it is. Yves is kind of a reasonable plan. He's reasonable, okay? But
Your team is
Zushin is another
picking.
hero that I would like to see banned. That hero is absolutely chaotic in most situations, especially for frontline heroes that do not have a dash. Zushin is going to be the biggest problem. And we've got Angela as the last ban from the side team, Endless Gate. They go for the Grok pick, though, which I think is a kind of like a, ironic thing where Grok is the strongest hero that has everything built in his kit. I think the moment he spams spells with his passive fully stacked, I think he will actually have cooldown, CC immunity for
Your team is picking.
0.7 seconds exactly, and that will actually give him a little bit of an edge against some hero like Zushin. But that can be said for something like Esmeralda, who does not have that, CC immunity, put into her kit. I don't think there's any specific item that gives you CC immunity like the Black King bar in Dota 2. So it's going to be tough for heroes like Esmeralda to deal with the Zushin, but Team Ryuga
Your
Esports
team is
had
picking.
decided on going for the Hayabusa in the jungle and the CC, which of course is one of the best heroes in the EXP lane. Of course, well, I don't think CC is second to Lapu, but Lapu and CC are kind of like on the same level. But good in their own thing, but well, because
Your
Lapu
team
Lapu
is
can
banning.
counter multiple heroes that actually group together, while CC can keep people who want to escape together. I think they actually have their own, unique quirks. But then again, I think that I would lean towards the Lapu Lapu side being better because obviously Lapu Lapu has everything built in his kit. A stun, what do you call it? Damage reduction from enemies. I think sustain. Yeah, I think we'll just call it
Your
sustain.
team is
But the
banning.
last pick from the side of Team Endless Gate being Fredrin, giving them that tanky edge in the jungle position. I think that's kind of required because Hayabusa can burst down every single squishy hero. But from the side of Team Endless Gate, I don't see nothing
Your team
squishy
is
as of yet.
banning.
The Esmeralda, the Fredrin, the Rock, I don't think anybody can be taken out by Chocolate Chan and Hayabusa together. But they've gone for the Hylos ban, and the second ban from like second phase ban for the side of Team Ryuga Esports is going to be Irithel. I think there is a possibility of that TC going at the gold lane, but we can never know until the end of the picking phase. But Wissal
Your
being
team
onto the
is
CC
banning.
makes me have that hope that I'm gonna see CC into the EXP lane. Of course, we've got Endless Gate going for that Kalea ban because in the previous game, I think Ryuga Esports was able to use the Kalea to the fullest. That was absolutely crucial. A hero that was absolutely crucial to their victory. But again, we can never tell what they're actually planning on. Ryuga Esports are doing amazing work.
Your team
Selena.
is picking.
I mean, I kind of see why the Seleno got banned because obviously we got three, heroes that can actually do a lot of damage, especially no take a lot of damage, especially during the mid stage of the game. Like Esmeralda and Fredrin can be absolutely beefy during the mid stages of the game, and they will benefit from having a lot of damage, especially in the early phases of the game. So Selena is a hero that can actually do bring that to the table, especially with the Grok. They will be able to actually puncture down a few heroes and take them out. But again, Selena is not something that I would prioritize. I would rather see a Kadita getting banned there. That hero is absolutely chaotic, and that hero definitely needs a ban. But Endless Gate really do have the option to take up the Kadita, but instead they go for that
Your
Siciliana
team
late
is
game
picking.
insurance policy. I don't see the possibility of that being work I think that's a work in progress. I think it's a work in progress. I don't see that as a threat, especially in the early game. But Sicilian, of course, the second clause might actually just put the enemies in a bad spot. And while with Brock, I think there's a possibility of them doing enough damage to take down a few heroes. But it's not what I would actually expect from anybody, a Sicilian, a Brock, Fredrin, and
Your team is
Esmeralda.
picking.
It's kind of surprising, but it's all 60% into the execution of the game. Back to the side of Team Ryuga Esports, they've gotten themselves that Hilda and also the Lunux, so that means Hilda is going to be able to actually invade. But I don't think that's going to be a very, a required thing, especially against a hero like Fredrin. I don't think Hilda can actually do much, especially invading in the enemy side with that one. Gold lane, we've got the Lunux, and I think to actually counter the Lunux, we've got a Nathan. No. Nathan? Roger. I mean, I kind of see why the Nathan is actually a good late game insurance, but Roger, he's got early game damage, especially with a Lycan bounce, so he might actually be able to secure a few kills here and there, allowing his team to actually snowball with the goal lane. I think that's going to be a good possibility. However, with how much team, Endless Gate have invested into the late game, and their whole synergy with that one, I think it's going to be tough for them to actually sustain in the early game. But that is one of the reasons why they have three tanky heroes like Esmeralda, Brock, and Edrin. I think that'll allow them to stay alive for a bit longer than what they actually could be staying alive with, maybe with an assassin jungle. But again, it's 40% in the drafting and around 60%, give or take 10% into the execution. And I believe that team, what do you call it? Endless Gate in the previous game surprised me with the Yuzong in the gold lane and Phoveus in the EXP lane. I kind of understand why they picked the Phoveus, especially against the 1-1 is a good pick. But I could see that during the mid game they were able to actually make it work until the 20-minute mark where they actually fell off because of Ryuga's superior macro and execution style. I think that actually worked out for them only in that way. But again, Endless Gate could actually possibly win this match. Welcome back to the Land of Dawn for an exciting match between Team Ryuga Esports on the blue side and Team Endless Gate on the red side. Fredrin, of course, is going to have a tough time farming through, especially against the Hayabusa, who's going to be a superior jungler than the Fredrin, of course, because of the damage that he's able to deal to the jungle monsters. And that's, of course, what do you call it? Second talent that allows you to do a lot more damage to jungle monsters and forget it. It's okay. We've got a little bit of a problem on the bot side. We've got CC and also Hilda trying to fast push the lane, and I think that's actually pretty smart there. CC getting to level 2, while our Hilda gets a little bit of a chunk into the EXP that he is supposed to get having. In the top side, we've got Azushin trying to harass Roger a little bit, but again, like I mentioned, Hayabusa is going to get the Little Wanderer without any stress. Chocolate Chan is going to secure it, because obviously Fredrin is very slow in terms of jungling, and I think it's going to be a possibility for Hayabusa to actually invade. But look at Fredrin; he's found out that Hayabusa is trying his best to actually put some pressure onto Fredrin's jungle. Not going to allow him to do that. He is going to definitely get himself at level 4. But look at the bot lane; we've got a little bit of a problem. Hilda and also CC trying to put Esmeralda in a rock and a hard place, in between a rock and a hard place. Kind of tough. But look at that. We've got Fredrin so slow in terms of jungling. He is still trying to take his red buff, while I bet Hayabusa is going to be able to take it way faster. And on the bot side, we've got Hilda finally out of the lane. That means Esmeralda is free to do whatever. And he chooses to keep the lane frozen. No, it does not, actually. But look at that. Brock is surprised with how CC was just standing there and waiting. But look at Fredrin. He's also now there. But the taunt is going to actually find its way to CC only. And Hilda is going to be there. But look at the block. The Razor's Wrath. But then again, we've got Visal getting to kill on Brock. And we've got Roger from the bot lane finding his way to the top side. Finding his way to the bot lane. But Dr. Chan is just going to make Royster go back on his words and go back to the base so that he can just go back to the top lane. And look at that, we've got Zushin pulling up with a Lantern Flare. I don't think it's actually a good idea to engage any further. But again, Fredrin now has, himself the blue buff as a big target, while Turtle is going to be secured by Chocolate Chan without any pressure. as we go shifting back to the top side. We've got Brock getting caught by two people. I think it was kind of, comical the way that Hilda and Zushin were able to actually just melt him down like that. We've got Lunox, of course, who uses ultimate to did most of the damage, but then again, he really notices that. We've got right now the ultimate from the Zushin trying to actually pull back Brethren, but that taunt is going to stop Hayabusa from using the Yogi Shadow Kill, but the weak one is going to find his way to actually get the kill there. We've got him using the Brilliance ultimate. He's going to stay alive for a bit longer, but Star Moon Fall is going to actually catch Zushin. I don't think he's going to stay alive, but the Flicker is going to keep him alive for a bit longer. He's going to be able to have a chance to go back home. He's not going to go down this time, at least. But again, we've got Hilda positioning himself in a very precarious situation. Fredrin now has the vision onto Hilda, but look at that. We've got Roger too being there. I don't think it's actually a good idea. Hilda running in with wild power away from all of the enemies, but same with Claus catches her, pulls her back into position, but nobody follows up, so Hilda is going to stay alive. But look at the bot lane. We've got Visal taking all the gold from bot lane tier 1. And I think with Esmeralda following through, she is not going to be there to reach in time to defend the gold shield from the bot lane tier 1. CC, Vishal doing all that he can to actually out-farm Esmeralda. Good decisions were made today, I believe. And look at that, Hilda is just standing there. Is he going to get the kill? Oh no, he's not going to jump onto the buff. I don't think that was a good idea. But again, we've got Vishal getting the kill on Virus with the curtain call, dude. That was absolutely crucial, especially since the turtle is spawning in. I think not Esmeralda not being there is quite the predicament for the side of Team Endless Gate. But Brilliant ultimate used up by Lunox, keeping him alive. But then again, we've got Voice low on HP. But there's another engage that's more worrying. We've got Zushin there. Sanguine Claws pulling her back into the wall. Again, Fredrin is just overextending and taunting the Zushin for absolutely no reason, because nobody from the side of Team Endless Gate are engaging through. They're not following up with them. But again, we've got Visal in the mid lane. We've got a lot of pressure being built up by the EXP laner in the mid side. The tower is going to have a lot of big things in assaulting, but then again, Visal is actually going to use the curtain call. Catches two people, forces them to stick together. They're not actually going to escape with that one. Oh, look at that. We've got the Tectonic Shard catching two people, but he's not going to actually stay alive for too long. Rock is out of the picture, but Loisker in the top lane is very low. But again, Visal is also kind of low. He's going to be taking a back seat now. We've got the Quad Shadow, but then again, it's Hilda who's going to get the kill onto, Fredrin. That's kind of sad, actually. But, he's going to take a little bit of a break there. He's just going to sip for a little bit of water. Maybe a Sprite, Fanta, something. But look at that. We've got Turtle being destroyed by Chocolate Chan without any contest from the side of Team Endless Gates. We've got the Quad Shadow, we've got the Yogi Shadow Kill, and we got Voisker back into the base. Look at Esmeralda from the bot lane on his way to the top side, but we've got Visal getting the kill onto Brock inside the tower. Absolutely beautiful the way that Hilda and also Visal is playing. But look at that, the lane swap is going to actually put them in a tough spot. We've got the Sanguine Claws, but the Bad Beast is going to keep them alive. Hilda's wild power is not going to be enough to actually take down Cillian, but that will be enough to actually keep him at bay, making forced to go back. But the Quad Shadow is going to be there. He's going to find his way, but the Sanguine Claws is going to secure a good setup for the side of Team Endless Gate. They're going to lose Hilda. They're going to lose CC. They're going to lose two important units there. Oh, good God, my throat is actually... I'm actually kind of tired now. Oh, look at that recall there. It's kind of cool. The Legend skin recall is absolutely worth it. And I can't lie, I think that's actually kind of one of the most coolest sound effects ever. But look at that, we've got an engagement probably. He's been low on his feet. He's going to find his way to get there. Fraser's wrath on his face. Gamma is going to be taken out by Virus, of course. But the weak one's going to get the kill onto the Virus, of course. And Nino is going to get taken out by Hilda. Hilda was kind of surprising the way that it actually turned out, but you've got esports still managing to keep up the momentum that they had since the first minute. 12 kills, 3 deaths for the side of Team Ryu esports. But look at that, Hilda is finally caught. They've got Hilda in a big problem. I think he's too tanky for them to actually dish out damage to. Boister does not have the items, he does not have the damage as of yet, and that only means Team Ryuga Esports can do whatever they want, allowing Hayabusa to. No, he's not going to steal the blue buff. That's kind of sad, but it's okay. In the end of the day, we just want to actually see, endless. Oh, we've got a little bit of a problem. We've got the taunt going in. We've got the weak one forced to use the flicker, and he's going to actually escape. That's good. That's good. As the Lord is now spawning in the top side of the map, I think Team Endless Gate don't really have an option to actually engage there. I think they actually need to take this one out. They need to allow Ryuga Esports to actually take it. Because obviously, if it at all is going to be a Lord bait, it's going to be very, very tough for them to actually come back through on this one. Especially with the gold gap being 5,000 and now only increasing. Look at that. Roger's gone to his beast mode and he's trying to actually do some damage on Hilda, who's just not actually affected by anything at all, because look at that. She's still half HP after taking 4 people. Oh, look at that. We've got, what do you call it? Endless Gates Royster getting himself the Endless Battle. That's kind of ironic, but look at that. They found the vision onto Hilda. They will hunt her down. Roger is trying to actually do his best to find any way to actually chunk any damage. But look at that. The Star Moon Fall is going to lock Hilda in place, but that's not going to be enough damage to actually take down someone of Pinky of Hilda. But look at the mid lane. We've got a little bit of a situation. We've got no minions pushing in, but then again, nobody can actually do anything. The super minions from the bot lane are going in. We've got Wissal on the top side doing the damage that was required to actually take down the tier 2 in the top side, and we've got a little bit of a damage outplay coming in there in the top side. They're just playing and trying to actually one-up the other person. And we've got a little bit of a problem. We've got right now Chocolate Chan getting taken out by Virus, but the bot lane tier 3 is going to be taken out in return. And in the mid side, we've got the tier 1 also getting taken out. Finally, the mid lane tier 1 is out of the picture. But look at that. The super minions are going to be very tanky for Sicilian to burst down this early in the game, especially since it's just the 9-minute mark. It's not going to be that much of a problem because Sicilian is not going to do that much damage. Again, no tower from the side of team. Alright, you guys, Sportsman thinking, but Nino is going to be taken out. Look at that. They're also doing a lot of damage, and they find a way to get the kill on Virus too. And it's going to be Gamma. Not Gamma, I mean, the weak one who's going to get 2 kills, and now 3. He's going to find his way to get the kill on the Voister, who is his lane, arch nemesis in his lane, and he will be able to actually push this tower in the mid side. There is no dedicated pusher, but I don't think that's going to be worrying at all, especially with Chocolate Chan, who is absolutely precise in the way he pushes his towers and everything. Look at that, the Bat Beast is being used up in the bot lane. The Curtain Call, though, is doing more damage than the Bat Beast can actually heal up, but Vissal getting caught is going to be a big problem there. He's not going to actually be caught, though. He's going to be able to escape there, but look at that. Hilda is there to actually secure an escape route for his friend Vissal. With the power of friendship, we've got everyone from the side of Team Ryuga Esports surviving and staying alive and healthy. Oh, look at that. Roger's not actually jumped in. Nothing too serious. I'm sure it's gone. And look at that, though. We're going to get Gamma getting to kill a Virus so early on. That means, if at all, they're not going to be able to defend this. If they get caught even one more time, Endless Gate are going to lose this one. Gates on the top side. Not be any follow-up, though. I don't think there's going to be any requirement for the side of Team Ryuga to push this. As the Lord is spawning in, the second Lord of the match, that only means Team Endless Gate have to up their game, or they're going to lose this one with this Lord if they're not able to defend this. But they might possibly be able to defend this with the Sicilian's help, of course. Fetrick, who is on the Sicilian, might actually just have enough damage. But we've got the Lord getting taken out from the side of Team Ryuga Esports. They have decided on splitting their, utilities. They're trying to actually push the top, mid, and also the bot lane at the same time. They're not putting too much pressure. Hayabusa, Chocolate Chan trying to do his best. Allowing the minions to push in the mid lane is going to be a good idea, because obviously they want to equal, what do you call it? Think the lanes, but look at that. We've got the Brilliance ultimate. Oh, not Brilliance ultimate. I mean, the Zushin's ultimate. That was actually kind of good. It was able to actually keep her alive for a bit longer. But again, Chocolate Chan at the top side, getting the push going on, but he's not going to be able to take it down. He's not going to be able to find his way to get the tower on the top side. But the mid lane is a totally different story, though. Of course, Tectonic Charge is ready from the side of Team Endless Gate, but the mid lane is going to be taken out regardless. Oh, it's not going to be, but the top lane will be. That's actually no surprise at all. But look at that, we've got the low HP Zushin running away, and I think that's actually kind of valid because obviously Zushin is kind of able to escape whatever damage the team Endless Gate are bringing onto the table because obviously they're underfarmed and not able to actually out damage the damage that Team Ryuga Esports are actually dishing. But Hayabusa is trying to set up for maybe a split push. I think Chocolate Chan is actually going for that one. But if he does find any way to actually get any kills, he will take it, no doubt about that. Look at that though, top lane is going to be pushed by minions, so Roger Whisker is actually going to be forced to do that. But look at the weak one who's absolutely unhinged. He's going to find his way to get the kill on Fredrin, and Hayabusa is going to get the kill on Sicilian. With Zushin's help, of course, Hayabusa, Chocolate Chan is going to get the kill on Whisker too. He's going to get a triple kill like that, and White Missile is going to get the kill on the block. And things over. They're able to actually win this without any stress inside of this endless game. They will destroy the Nexus, and they will find a victory. 2-0, a clean sweep.
Story.
And like that, Team Ryuga Esports claim victory in the top 8 quarterfinals against Team Endless Gate. And I don't think it's actually kind of, anything about luck. Ryuga Esports did have a lot of good macro. Hayabusa positioned himself well in that bush. Chocolate Chan allowing his team to know where the enemies are was very crucial. And the moment they actually made a mistake, he was able to use the Ogi Shadow Kill Quad Shadow to actually enter and try to bait out some spells, allowing the weak one to take the kill on Fredrin, which was the most crucial kill that was there in that whole team fight. That allowed Team Ryuga Esports to snowball into a few more kills. That just led to them getting the win in this game. And not gonna lie, 2-0, a clean sweep. Ryuga Esports showed their dominant presence with a 22-4 kill ratio. That was absolutely chaotic, but it was the good kind of chaotic. Ryuga take the crown, and they will be moving forward to the next game. And like that, we will be ending the best of 3 here, guys. Stay tuned. We will be back.